all of these tools, all of these AI tools that we're using these days have inherent properties of usability and issues. So that's an issue with image recognition identification systems. Another one is that all AI systems have a kind of not what we call knowledge cutoff date. A knowledge cutoff date is basically when the model was built. So all the data in it goes up to January 1st, 2023, say, whatever. And you can usually look up what the cutoff dates are. But here's an interesting issue with that. This is another example of the way in which you need to know how these systems work. So if I ask Google the question, how can I find a website that is related to another site? What do you think it's going to tell me? I will show you. It says, hey, here's an AI answer, because that's the very first result. It's above the organic results now, right? You can use the related operator or the similar pages feature, and it shows you how to use the related site. I worked there for a long time, and I know that's not true. So what happened? Knowledge cutoff, right? So it turns out that this is actually posted in July of 2023 by the Google Search Liaison. Said, oh yeah, the related operator hasn't worked for some time. We're just turning it off. We're deprecating it. Why doesn't Google know this? The problem is twofold. There's a knowledge cutoff. Second, there are millions of pages that say, here's how to find a related site, related : whatever. There are only, as far as I know, 2 or 3 pages that say this operator has been deprecated. You know how machine learning works. Big volume beats tiny volume. So in this case, millions beats 2 or 3. So the language model, which is basically statistical, as a statistical sequence predictor, doesn't have any stats for this operator has been deprecated. So when you talk about large language models knowing something, they don't actually, quote, know anything. They have statistics that back up the sequence of text that will predict. So remember that when you're trying to ask questions like this. If it's massive volume versus tiny volume, the mass is going to win because that's what gets learned by the models. Another example of the knowledge cutoff effect. I asked the question of Gemini in this case. What is Google's large whiteboard application that lets people brainstorm quickly and easily? And the answer is Google Jamboard. I did this yesterday. But the reality is it got shut down last year. So again, you're seeing a knowledge cutoff. Heuristic for you, be very cautious about asking pretty current questions. Make sure the model that you're using has a knowledge cutoff date that is after the interesting information you seek. You have to remember that.